can use a metric. And then and the last one, we can obtain the value for the uh, electrical quantity that we want to find lah. Okay. 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 This is a Kirchhoff law. I already tell you before. Okay. Kirchhoff current law states that the algebraic sum of the current entering the node is zero, or the amount of current entering a node is equal to the amount of the current leaving the node. Okay. Benda ni saya dah pernah bagi tahu sebelum ni. Contoh pun dah pernah tunjuk. Okay. So this is the Kirchhoff current law. Okay. Okay. By applying Kirchhoff current law, okay, we know that the current enter the node. This is the node. Okay. I1 plus I2 is equal to the current leaving the node, equal to I3 plus I4 plus I5. Okay. Okay. This is Kirchhoff. Okay. This is Kirchhoff law for the voltage. Okay. For the voltage, Kirchhoff voltage law states that the algebraic sums of the all voltage enclosed path or loop is equal to zero. Or in a complete circuit loop, the total source voltage is equal to the total voltage drop across the loop. Okay, so what you want to use in mesh analysis or in loop analysis, this theory or this law. Okay, so okay, this is the example. Okay, we look at the example. Okay, you can look at your slide. Okay, we have a example circuit that have more than one voltage source. Okay, you can see V1 and V2. Okay, we have a battery voltage source V1, and the other voltage source the other side is V2. Okay, so we have a two this is V2. This is R1. Okay, okay. You have a two voltage source. Okay, so if you have a two voltage source, you cannot use um, the previous method. Okay, you cannot use the previous method. You need to use a loop method. Okay, or mesh analysis, loop or mesh analysis. Okay, so um, I show you how. Okay, the first step is we need to draw um, the loop first. Okay, we need to draw the loop first. Okay, this is loop one. Okay, this is loop one. So we label it as I1. Okay, and the other one is another loop. Okay, we label it as I2. Okay, it means that current flow here is I1 and the current flow here is I2. Okay, okay. So after this, okay, we need to use a Kirchhoff voltage law to uh, terbitkan persamaan apa bahasa Inggeris terbitkan persamaan to to find out the equation. Okay, to find out the equation based on this closed loop. Okay, okay. Um, okay, tak payah tengok your equation dekat you punya slide. Okay, uh, I tell you how to find the equation. Okay, so the first one, we look at the loop one. We call this loop one. Okay, okay, okay. Actually, you need to write. You know that Kirchhoff voltage law so that this voltage, this voltage source is equal to sum of this voltage and this voltage. Okay, so from that we can find the equation. Okay, so the I just show you one way. Okay, how to produce the equation. Okay, I don't want to um, saya tak nak tunjuk awak banyak-banyak sebab nanti awak confused. Okay, so I just tell you one method. Okay, okay, you see here, you have a voltage here. Okay, this is positive and this is negative, right? Okay, okay. So from this is your loop. Okay, you see your arrow of this loop. Okay, you find the negative v1. Okay, you find negative v1. So you just write negative v1. Okay, so dia punya anak panah ni, you jumpa negatif. So you tulis negative. Okay, so based on this arrow, okay, based on this arrow, okay, you find the negative v1. So you write here negative v1. Okay, and then plus, okay, plus voltage here. Okay, voltage here. Voltage here is I1 times R1, right? I1 R1. Okay, okay, and then plus voltage here. Okay, voltage here. Okay. Voltage here is I times R3. Okay, but here R3 is in the middle of the loop, both loop. Okay, so you can see that I1 flow through R3, I2 also flow through R3. Okay, dua-dua arus lalu melalui R3. Okay, so you need to consider both I. Okay, so you see that I1 flow through here and I2 flow through here. So means that uh, this is I1, okay, and this is I2. Okay, so for this voltage, okay, you need to write I1 minus I2 times by R3 equal to, okay. Why I1 minus I2? Because it is in different direction. Okay, I1 is down, I2 is up. Okay, so bila dia berlawanan arah, awak kena tolak. Okay, I1 minus I2. Why I1 minus I2, not I2 minus I1? Because right now you are in your loop 1. Okay, so if you are in your loop 1, your priority is I1. Okay, so this is equation from Kirchhoff voltage law. This is Kirchhoff voltage law. Okay, okay, for loop 2. Okay, for loop 2, we look at loop 2. We look at loop 2. Okay, you can start from here or you can start from here. Okay, or you can start also from here. But at the end, you will get the same equation. Okay, so I start at R2. So voltage here is I2 times R2. Right. Okay, so this is I2. Your arrow be the positive first plus V2. Okay, it be the positive first, so plus V2. And then plus voltage here. Voltage here is I2 minus I1 times R3. Okay. Okay. If you look at this equation, this one and this one, it's same as your equation in the slide. Sama je dengan slide tu. Kau tengok. Okay. So, in your slide, it show that the V1 minus I1 R1 minus I1 minus I2. Sama kan? Sama kan? Sama. Sama. Okay. So, for equation 1, minus equation 2, I2 R2 minus V2 minus I2 minus I1 times R3 equal. This one and this one. Sama juga. Okay. This one pun betul. Yang ni pun betul. Ini pun betul. Yang ni pun betul. Ini pun betul. Sebenarnya ini sama. Okay. This both same. Kemudian dia bawa pergi sebelah lah. Okay. Okay. So this is how you produce the equation. Okay. Mana awak dapatkan dia punya equation. So we look at the next example. Okay, we look at this example. Okay, we look at the second example where, okay, this equation, this equation just have a one voltage source. Okay, so this question you can use Ohm's law, like a previous lecture. Okay, so we can use that method instead of this method. Okay, so actually this method, the method that we learned today, we can use to solve equation in the in our previous section. Okay, but for the question that have a more than one voltage source, we cannot use the Ohm's law like we have done before. We need to use the loop analysis. Okay, so kalau soalan ni sebenarnya awak boleh guna je last week punya method sebab dia ada satu je punca voltan. Okay, tapi awak juga boleh guna kaedah yang kita belajar hari ni walaupun dia ada satu punca voltan. So, kalau dia cakap dekat awak guna method mana, awak kena ikut dia lah. You need to follow the question. Maybe the question asks you to use a loop analysis, so you need to use a loop analysis lah. Okay, okay. So for this, we have a nampak tak color merah? Clear tak saya guna color merah? Nampak?
Tak.
Ha?
Tak berapa nak nampak.
Tak berapa?
Tak.
Tak nampak? Tak buat pun nak habis dah.
Warna dia tak berapa nak gelap. Tak terang warna dia.
Lebih ni salah ni. Mata dia ni salah mata. Apa nak buat dah. Okay. R1, R3, okay. Okay, for this question, you jangan tengok yang KVL equation yang sebelah ni. Okay, don't look at this equation. Okay, just look at this. At this circuit. Okay, so for this one, we want to find the value of Ix and Iy and Iz. Okay, so you have R1, R2, and R3, and R15. So for this, first, draw the loop. Okay. First, you need to draw the loop. In this question, um, it gives you the direction of the loop. Okay. So kalau you nak buat sendiri pun boleh, tak ada masalah. Okay. So for this loop, kita sekarang ni kita ikut je apa yang dalam equation tu say. This is loop 1. Okay. This is, and this is loop 2. Okay. This is. Okay. So you can, like before, I tulis this is I1 and this is I2. Right. This is I1 and this is I2. Okay. Actually, this is the current flow. So you know here that the current flow here is Ix. You know that the current flow here is Ix. Okay. So you know that I1 is equal to Ix. So if you want to write here I1, can, but at the end of the answer, you need to convert. You need to make a conclusion that Ix is equal to I1. Okay, but if you want to use this as Ix, also can. Okay, because we know that the current flow here is Ix, so we label it Ix. Okay, boleh juga. Okay, tak nak cik, saya nak juga I1 ni, walau macam mana pun, tak ada masalah. Okay, if you want to write this as I1, it's okay. But at the end of the answer, you need to conclude that this I1 is equal to Ix. Okay? So, mana-mana pun boleh. Okay? Apa-apa pun boleh. Okay? So, kalau you kata this one is Ix, this one is I1, pun boleh. Okay? Okay, katakan saya tak nak lah Ix dengan I1 ni. Saya nak juga this is I1, this is I2. This is I1 and this is I2. It's referred to this is loop 1 and this is loop 2. Okay? Okay, so for loop 1, for this loop, okay? Okay, this arrow, okay, from this, you find that the negative E. So you write this the negative 15. Okay? And then you need to write the plus. Okay? Plus this one and plus this one. Okay? Plus the voltage here is I1 R1. Okay? And then plus the voltage here. Okay. I1 flow through here. I2 flow here. Okay. I1 flow here. I2 flow up. Okay. I1 flow down. I2 flow. So here is the I1 minus I2 times R2. Okay. This is equation 1. This is okay. So here we get that I1 berapa? 5, 10. This is 5 volt. This is 10. 5 volt, 10 volt. Okay. So it's 15 minus 15 plus 5I1 plus I1 minus I2 times 3. 5 tambah 3, 8I1 minus 3I2 is equal to 15. This is your equation 1. Okay? This is your equation 1. Okay, for loop 2, this loop. Okay, for this loop, okay, voltage here is I2 times R3. Okay, plus there are no voltage source here. Okay, so you just plus this voltage and this voltage. Okay, so plus here is I2 minus I1 times R2. Okay, this is 10I2 plus I2 minus I1 times 0. So this is minus 3I1 plus 13I2. So this is equation 2. Okay, summed up. Okay, you understand how to produce this equation? Okay, so once you get this equation and this equation, okay, so you have a you don't know the value of I1 and I2. Okay, you don't know the value I1 and I2, but you have a two equation. So you can use either the Gaussian equation or metric to solve this. Okay, by using max, solve this to get I1 and I2. I1 and wait tak simpan pada mana? Tinggal equation ni je. Okay, this one is 8I1 minus 3I2 equation 1 minus 3I1 plus 13I2. Okay, okay. So from this, we can find the value of I1 and I2. Okay, you can kita matikan okay, this equation, okay, you times this equation by 3 and you times by this equation by 13. Okay, So we got this value. Ni banyak cara sebenarnya. Okay. This is salah satu cara lah. We've got 104I1 minus 59I2 is equal to 195. Okay, and then we got minus 9I1 plus 59I2. Okay, so from this you got this, and then from this you got this. Kenapa saya darab why I times by 3 and I times by 13? Because I want this I to have the same value, so that if we add this equation, if we sum this equation and this equation ni plus this equation, okay, so kita boleh hapuskan. Okay, minus 39 plus 39 is equal to 0. Okay, so we already hapuskan I2. Okay, so 104 plus minus 9 is minus 9 is equal to 95 I1 equal to 1. So your I1 is equal to 195 divided by 95 equal to 2.053. Okay. This is I1. How about I2? Okay, so you substitute the value of I2 in this equation or this equation, either one. Yeah. So you can get the value of I2. Okay, or they say to be awak cari calculator. Okay, 2.053, and you get value of I2 is equal to 0.4736. Okay, you got I1 is equal to 2.053 and I2 is 0.4736. Okay, so from this, you know that in this question asks you what is the value of Ix, Iy, and Iz, right? Not I1 and I2. Okay, so from here you need to make a conclusion for the Ix and Iy. Okay, also for Iz lah. Okay, so from here you know that the I1 is equal to Ix is equal to 2.053. Okay, so Iy, I2 is equal to your Iy, I2 and Iy same, I2, Iy. Okay, 0.47. Okay, and one more, Iz. This Iz. Okay, so this Iz you can use Kirchhoff current law. Okay, you can use Kirchhoff current law. So you know that this is node for this junction. Okay, so you know that the value of the current enter the node is equal to the value of the current leaving the node. So it means that Ix is equal to Iz plus Iy. Iy plus Iz. So you want to find the Iz, right? Iz is equal to Ix minus Iy. Your Ix is 2.053. 053 minus 0.4736. So your IZ is equal 1.579. Okay. Or this IZ is equal to I1 minus I2. Why? Because your IZ flow through here. Okay, your IZ flow through here. Okay, you know that the current flow through here is I1 and I2. Okay, both current IZ, both current I1 and I2 flow through this R2. Okay, so to get this IZ, you need to subtract I1 minus I2 is equal to IZ. Okay, one of this. Okay, so for this IZ or IZ equal to I1, okay, you akan dapat jawapan yang sama 1.57. Why I1 minus I2? Kenapa I1 kena tolak I2, not I2 minus I1? Bukannya I2 tolak I1? Because your IZ flow down. Okay? Okay? Your IZ dia ke bawah. So once dia ke bawah, yang flow ke bawah sekarang ni I1 ke? Bukannya I2. Okay? So you need to subtract I1 minus I2 to get I. Yang utama lah. Okay? Kalau your IZ naik ke atas, if your IZ okay, if your IZ like this, so you need to subtract I2 minus I1, not I1 minus I2. You need to follow the arrow. Okay. Sama je ni. Okay. One more thing I want to. Okay, this is how to check your this is how to check your answer. Okay, by using a calculator. Okay, so from this, you can find the answer through your calculator. Okay, so you have a two equation. This one equation and this is the first equation and this is the second equation, right? Okay, so you go through to your calculator. Okay, and then press mode. Okay, press mode until you find the word EQN. EQN is an equation. Okay, so this is okay. You press 1. Okay, so unknowns means that this value apa yang awak tak tahu, berapa nilai yang awak tak tahu. Okay, I1 and I2, this is two unknown. Okay, two unknown, 2 or 3, so you press 2. Okay, okay, and then dia akan keluar A1. Okay, A1 is here. A1 is here. This is A1. This is B1. This is A1. This is A1. This is B1. This is A2. This is B2. This is A2. Okay. So what is the value for A1? A1 is 8. Type 8 and then press equal. What is for B2? B2 is minus 3. Minus 3 and then equal C1. C1 is 15. 1, 5 equal A2. A2 is minus 3. Minus 3. B2 is 13. And then C2 is 0. Okay, you will get the answer. X is equal to 2052. Okay. Actually, this X is equal to I1. You got the value of X, right? X is equal to 2.0526 ampere. Actually, this X is this. Okay. So it is equal to I1. Okay. And press equal. You got Y. Y is equal to 0.4736 ampere. It is equal to sama kan? Okay. This is how to use a calculator. Okay. Okay. Faham tak? Okay. So you need to use you just can use your calculator to check your answer. Okay. Guna calculator untuk check jawapan awak je lah. So the flow how to get the I1 and I2 you need to use uh, macam tadi method yang saya guna tu. We call it as quotient method. Okay. Or dia ada dua kaedah sebenarnya. We can use a quotient method or we can use a metric. Okay. So you need to learn how to use a metric. Tapi metric tu bagi saya remeh sikit lah. Tapi kalau you okay dengan metric, you faham dengan metric and then you boleh guna metric juga. Metric pun actually boleh guna calculator. Nanti you explore. Okay. So matematik lah this one. Okay. Siapa tak faham? Okay. Okay ke tak? Are you okay?
Yes, Miss, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. This question, try to find the equation first. Okay. By using technique that I teach you. Okay. You boleh nampak dia punya jawapan kan? Okay. Tapi try use teknik yang I ajar untuk terbitkan equation. Tengok sama tak dengan yang dekat slide. Okay. You can I give you 5 minutes. You can try to get the equation for the loop 1 and loop 2 for this equation. Okay. Saya bagi 5 minit terbitkan dia punya equation dia. Guna kaedah yang saya ajar tadi. Okay. Actually, this question berbeza dengan previous question. Okay, but it have a R2, R4, and R5. Okay. Okay, this is loop one. Okay, one. Label it as I1. And this is loop two as okay. Okay, for loop one, okay. So this I1, this I1, this arrow of this I1, you need the negative V. Okay, right, right, negative. Okay, so actually, um, terbitkan persamaan ni, okay, for this equation, so uh, yang kena consider is positive or negative right now is your battery, okay, your battery. So yang mana nak consider positive negative ni sebenarnya adalah unit battery. Okay, for your load or for the resistor, you just put it positive. Okay, so you put it positive for the resistor. Okay, you need to consider either it's negative or positive only for the voltage source. Okay, okay. But to know whether it's positive or negative, just look at your arrow of your eye or arrow of your loop. Okay, just look at that awak punya anak panah you awak ni. Okay, dia jumpa mana dulu? Dia jumpa negatif. You write negative. Okay, you find the negative first and then you write negative. And then you plus I1 R1. Right. Voltage here is I1 R1. And then plus. Okay. So here I1 minus I2 times R3. Kan? I1 di sini, I2 di sana. I1 minus I2. Okay. I1 flow here, I2 flow in either direction. So you need to subtract. It's minus. Okay. Plus I1 R6. Okay. Loop 2. This loop. I2, we start from here. Voltage here is I2 R2 plus voltage here is I2 R4 plus voltage here is I2 R5 plus voltage here is I2 minus I1 times R2. So what you need to make sure is if you are in if you are in your loop one equation, okay, so your priority is the I1. Okay. If you are in your loop two, okay, your priority is for is your I2. Okay. So if your, okay, actually this equation is equal to the equation in your slide. Kalau you tengok pun sebenarnya sama. Ini yang sama. Okay. Ini di bawah ni salah. Okay. So if I change the direction, if I change this direction to anti-clockwise, okay, this is anti-clockwise. This is clockwise. This is anti-clockwise. I change the direction. Okay. So you can tulis balik. You need to write the equation. For the loop 1, okay, minus V plus I1 R1 plus, okay, here, voltage here, okay, I1 flow, this is I1, go to here, this is I2, go to here. Okay, so in this case, I1 and I2 in the same direction, I1 and I2 in the same direction. So you need to write I1 plus I2. If your current in the same direction, you need to sum to plus this both current. Okay, kita campur. If a different direction, you need to subtract. Okay, I1 plus I2 times R3 plus I1 R6 is equal to, okay, for loop 2, I2 R2 plus I2 R4 plus I2 R5 plus here I2, okay, okay, plus I2 plus I1 times R3. Okay, I1 plus I2, I2 plus I1. Like I said before, if you are in the loop 1, I1 is your priority. If you are in your loop 2, I2 is your. But for this one, if you write as I1 plus I2, it's okay because it's a plus. Okay. Tapi jadi masalah kalau benda tu different direction. If you tulis I2 minus I1, habislah jawapan awak salah. Okay. So actually, ramai yang confused. You are confused on this when you have a voltage source. Okay. So sebab tu saya ajar you satu teknik je. I just teach you one technique supaya you tak confused. Sebenarnya dia ada banyak sangat teknik. Okay. So bila you belajar more than one technique, so by the time you find the voltage source, you don't know either to subtract it or to sum it. Okay, either to minus or either to plus. Yang tu you akan confuse. Sebenarnya yang tu yang banyak sangat orang salah. Yang sepatutnya kena tolak, dia pergi tambah. Ataupun kena tambah, dia pergi tolak. Biasalah yang tu, kalau macam tu jawapan awak masalah. Daripada equation dah salah, semua jawapan dah salah. Sampai bawah-bawah dah salah. Okay. Okay. We look at Okay, look at this question. Okay, okay. This question we have a three loop. Actually, we have a three loop in this question. Okay, mark and label the direction of the loop current. Okay, from this, it show you the direction of, if you want to make a direction of the loop by yourself, you can do it. Okay? So it's actually, it depends on you. You want to write it in the clockwise, or you want to draw it anti-clockwise. It depends. But um, if you are draw in a clockwise and your friends drawing it anti-clockwise, you will get the same answer, but maybe you get the positive answer and your friends get the negative answer. Okay, so the difference is the positive and negative, but the value is the same. Okay, so if you get the value of negative, so means that uh, your direction is salah arah. Okay, okay. So if you have a, okay, for this one, this is loop one, and this is loop two, and this is, okay. We have a three loop. Okay, means that we don't know the value of I1, I2, and I3. We want to find the value of I1, I2, and I3. Okay, okay. So let's come up with the equation, okay, for the loop one. Okay, come up with the equation for the loop one. Okay, for this loop, we find the V1 here. Okay, so V1, your uh, your I1 arrow is negative here, so you write a negative V1. Okay. And then plus voltage here is I1, R1. Okay. Voltage here plus voltage here I1, this is I1, this is I2, I1 plus I2 times R3. Why plus? Because I1 flow through here and I2 flow through here. So it's the same direction of I. So you need to plus. Okay. And then plus. This loop also involves R4. Okay. So R4 here, the current flow R4 here is I1 and I3. Right. Okay. This is current flow I3 to R4, I3 flow to R4, R6 and R5. So this loop, you need to consider the R4. Okay. So for R4, the current flow through R4 is I1 and I3. So I1 here, I3, I1 plus I2 times R4. Betul tak? Right? Betul tak? I1, here is I1 right? Panas sebelah sana. I3, it's a same direction, right? So I1 plus I3. Question. Okay. So for loop 2, you find a negative, V2, right? Negative V2 plus I2 R2 plus I2 plus I1 times R3 plus. And then this one R5. You need to consider R5 voltage here. So current flow here is I3, current flow here is I2. I2 minus I3 plus 4. Why I2 minus I3? Sebab this is I2 and this is I3. Okay. I3 flow through here. I2 flow through here. Okay. So for this loop, you need to subtract I2 minus I3 times R4. When you do the negative voltage here for the loop 2. Okay. Loop 3. This loop. We start from here. Okay. R6. Voltage here is I3 R6 plus voltage here I3 minus I2 times R5 plus voltage here I3 plus I1 times R5. Okay. Faham tak? So, your answer is depends on your equation actually. So, kalau equation awak salah daripada mula, jawapan awak pun salah lah. Okay. So, this is very important. Where you need to find the equation first to make sure that your equation is right. Okay. Faham tak cara terbitkan equation? Do you understand how to produce this equation?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So from this, if you have a value of R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, and R6, and whatsoever, and then you need to substitute in this equation, okay? And then you need to find the value. What is the value for I1? What is the value for I2? And what is the value for I3? Okay. So we write the KVL equation for each loop. Okay, actually this equation in your slide is equal to this equation. Kalau awak double check, benda tu sama. Okay? Benda dia sama. Okay. If the value for R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6 is equal to 1 and V1 and V2 is equal to 1 volt, find the value for I1, I2 and I3. Dia bagi nilai. Dia kata kalau nilai R1 ni 1, R3 1, R2 pun 1, semua nilai rintangan dia adalah 1. Okay. And nilai voltan dia juga adalah 1. Okay. Cari nilai I1, I2 dan I3. Cuba from this equation. Okay. Insert the value for R and V. Lepas tu dapatkan 3 equation and then selesaikan 3 equation tu to get the value for I1, I2 and I3. Okay. So, actually this one, find this one plus 3R1 and 3I1 plus I2 plus I2. What? I1 plus 3I2. Yes. 3 equal to and this one I1 is I2 plus I3. Okay. So here we will get this. Okay, 3I1 plus I2 plus I3 is equal to 1. Question 1. I1 plus 3I2 plus 3 minus I3 is equal to 1. That is the I1 minus I2 plus 3I3. Okay. Okay, so from this, from these three equations, okay, so you boleh selesaikan and then you will get the answer of the unknown. So you get the value of I1 is equal to 0.5, I2 is equal to 0.25, I3 is equal to this I use a calculator. Okay, so you guna dulu teknik. Okay, to solve this you can use macam saya tunjuk tadi. Okay, yang mana kita kena matikan lah, kita kena substitute dia punya value this one to this one dan guna quotient punya teknik. Ataupun you boleh belajar juga, you can learn how to use a metric form to find the value of I2, I1, I2 and I3. Saya tak ajar lah, itu really basic math. Okay, that one is a mathematics. Okay, so in your exam, kalau tak sempat nak kira, gunalah calculator, tunjuklah jawapan yang terakhir, at least dapat dan juga markah. Okay. maybe your calculation tu adalah 2-3 markah, and then your final answer kena ada 1 markah lah selalunya. Okay. Okay. If the current direction for I2 and R3 I change, write the new KVL equation given the value for R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6. Sama je. Okay. Okay. For the next equation, for the next question, okay, you need to change the current direction for I2 and I3. I2 and I3 means that this this direction of current you need to change. So here okay, then I2 and I3 change, right? This is I2. You need to change the direction of the current. Okay. So if you change the direction of the current, okay, okay, you will get you will get the same answer. Dan yang ni saya tak tunjuk tau. You try by yourself. But you will get the answer for I1. I1 is equal to 0.25. Sama, same with the previous. Okay, but you will get the I2 is equal to minus 0.2, and I3 because it's 0, so it's 0. Okay, so you will get the answer for the I2 is the negative. Okay, if you change the direction, okay, from the clockwise to the anti-clockwise, so you will get the answer of I3 is equal to minus 0.25. Tapi tak syari nanti you try buat. Terbitkan this equation, and then you buat a solution, you akan dapat I2 is equal to minus 0.25. It's yang positive and negative. So the difference is the value is same, but the difference is a positive, either it's a positive or negative. So if you get the negative, it means that supposed to your uh, your current flow tu terbalik lah maksudnya. Okay, so you akan dapat negative, but the value tu sama. Okay. Derive, okay, can try. Tak ada jawapan ni. Kita buat yang ada jawapan lah. This one, draw. Okay, we try this question 6. Awak try dulu. You try first and then I give you the answer. Saya akan buat lah kat depan ni nanti. Tengok jawapan saya dengan jawapan awak sama tak. Okay. Sebab kat sini tak ada jawapan. Tak ada kan?
Tak ada.
Tak ada. Okay, awak guna this direction. Dia punya direction ni guna loop direction. You follow this. Okay. Nanti last nanti saya bagi jawapan. Tengok sama tak. Dengan jawapan saya. Jawapan awak dengan jawapan saya sama ke tak. This is the level R1, R2, R3. Okay. Dah, awak punya equation dah siap. Okay. For this loop 1, okay, is a minus V2 plus I1 R1. Okay. You boleh check dengan, you can check my answer with your answer. Sama ke tak? Okay. I1 R1 plus I1 plus I3 R3 plus I1 minus I2 R4. Sama tak? Kan? Okay. Loop 2. Loop 2 is loop 2. You start from this one minus V1. Y minus plus I2 minus I1 times R4 plus I2 plus I3 R1 plus I2 R6. This is equation 2. This is equation 1. This is equation 2. Okay. So for loop 3, loop 3 is minus V3 plus I3 R2 plus I3 plus I1 R3 I3 plus I2 Okay. Okay. You got awak dapat jawapan sama tak dengan saya? You get the same answer with me or not?
Yeah.
Okay. So kalau awak dah boleh terbitkan equation, itulah yang kita nak belajar hari ini. What we want to learn today is how to produce this equation. Okay. So do you dah ada equation ni? Kalau equation awak betul, jawapan awak tu selamatlah. You will get the correct answer. Okay. Okay, for this one, actually for this one, if you don't want to use the loop, you also can use Ohm's method. Okay, yang kita belajar sebelum ni lah. But you can also use this method to find the value of I. Okay, kita tengok soalan lain. Oh, tak ada jawapan lah. But you can try. Okay. Okay, I want you to try this question. Tak ada jawapan kan? So try this question. So buat this question. Loop 1 and loop 2. The question give you the cuba buat soalan ni. Try this question. Find the value for I1, I3 and I2. Okay, if you don't want to confuse yourself, okay, so maybe loop 1, you can write a loop 1 as a IX and loop 2 as a IY. Okay, sebab loop dekat sini dia bagi. So and then at the end of the answer, you make a conclusion. Ix is equal to what and Iy is equal to what. Okay. Okay, you need to find the value of I2 and I1. You need to find this I1 then I2 and I3. So here, okay, but this question, it gives you the loop, okay? Yeah, it already gives you the loop. This is loop 1. Okay? This is loop 1. And this is loop 2. So I said that um, if you write this is I1 and I2, okay, you can write this as I1 and you can write this as I2, but you need to make sure you know this I1 is equal to this I1 and this I2 is actually negative I3. So maybe you it might be a little bit confused because you use this as a I2, okay? So, but this I is not belong to this. It belong to this. Okay? So saya dah tadi, no need to use the same. No need to use the same as this. As long as um, you can use this I1 and you can write this as I3. But this I3 and this I3 is in different direction. It's a different direction. So this I3 is equal to minus this I3. Okay, so sebenarnya confused juga. So you just use this as Ix and this one is label it as Ix and Iy. Okay, so at the end of this answer, at the end of the answer, you make a conclusion that this Ix is equal to I1 and this Iy is equal to minus 3, minus I3. Okay, tak apa. Buat itu. Okay, produce this equation and this equation first. And then find the value of Ix, what is value of Ix, and then find the value what is Iy. Okay, and then the last one, what is I1 and what is I2, what is I3. Cuba keluarkan dia punya persamaan. Produce the equation first. So loop 1. Okay, for loop 1, the minus 25 plus 4ix. Okay, so if you level this is ix, so you write this ix plus, okay, so write this 3 ix minus iy. Okay, plus 22 equals 0. Right. 7ix 3iy is equal to 3. Equation 1. Okay. For loop 2, okay, this 2. Okay, we can start here. 24 plus 24 minus 22 plus 3 I1 minus ix plus 10 I1 minus 3 ix plus 15 I1 equal to minus 3 ix minus 15 I1. Okay, you get the same equation with me. Sama tak? Oh, pilih equation dengan saya pilih equation. Sama tak? Tu belum buat.
Ya, ya.
Kan? Masih padam tak? Seven ix minus 3 I1 3ix I1. Okay. So you have this equation and this equation. Okay. So from this, okay, you can multiply this by 5. Okay. You can multiply this by 5. Why? Because we want it to be 15 I1. Okay. We want it to be look at it 7 into 35 ix minus 15 I1. So okay, it's a from 1. Become this. Okay. So 3 ix minus 15 I1 equal to is the equation 2. This is from 1 and this is 1 actually. This is okay. So to okay. So 1 um, 1 minus 2. Okay, you need to subtract this equation with this equation. So 1 minus 2. 1 minus 2. So you need to minus this equation with this equation. Jadi bertolak 32. I this is I. IX minus 15 plus 15 equal to 0. 15 minus 2 is equal to 13. So you get the product IX is equal to the plus bahagi A 0.4 IX equal 0.4063 MP. Okay. And then I1, they just substitute this value in this equation or this equation. So you will get that Ix is equal to Iy is equal to 0.05. Okay, 0.05. Okay. So you will get the value of I1 is equal to 0.05. Okay. Okay. So here, the question asks you, what is the value for I1, I2, and I3? Okay. Not the value of Ix and Iy. Okay. So you need to make a conclusion here that your I1 is actually your Ix. Okay. So you write here I1 is equal to Ix equal to 0.4063. Okay. This is for I1. Okay. Okay. So your Iy is here. Okay. Okay. So your I3 is here. So actually, the value your Iy and I3 have the same value. Okay. Okay. Your Iy and I3 have the same value, but they are in different direction. Okay, in different direction. Means that your I3 is equal to minus Iy. Why minus? Because it's a different direction. Iy go through here, and I3 go through here, and Iy go through here. So your I3 is equal to minus Iy. So it means that your I3 is equal to 0.05. Okay. So, so if you look at the answer, I3 is equal to 0.05. Okay. So maksudnya apa sekarang ni? It means that this loop, uh, this loop is in the wrong direction. So this loop sebenarnya direction dia salah. Sebab tu dia dapat jawapan negatif. Okay. This loop in the wrong direction. So it's supposed to be uh, anti-clockwise. It's supposed to be anti-clockwise, not clockwise. Okay. Tapi dia dapat jawapan dia negatif. Maksudnya you punya direction loop you tu salah. Okay. So I3 is equal to 0.5. Okay. For I2, okay. So you can use Kirchhoff current law where you have this node here, this node here. So by using a Kirchhoff current law, that node, you know that the current enter the node is equal to the current leaving the node. So here I1 is equal I1 plus I3 is equal to I2. if you look at this junction, this is I3, right? And this is I1 and this is I. So the current entering the node is I1 and I3. So I1 plus I3. The current leaving the node is I2. So your I2 is equal to your I1 is 0.4063 plus I3 is equal to 0.05. Or what? This is the value for I2. Okay. Or you want to find the value of I2 here. Okay. Okay. You want to find the value of I2 here. You can use Ix and Iy instead of instead of I1 and I3. You can use this Ix and Iy. Okay. So macam mana? So sekarang ni your Ix is equal to, okay. So you know that Ix flow here. This is Ix. And Iy flow. Okay. So your I2 is actually Ix minus Iy. Okay. Your I2 di sini lah. Okay. Di sini. Your I2 is equal to Ix minus Ix. Okay. Why Ix minus Iy, not Iy minus Ix? Because your I2 sama direction with Ix. Okay. So means that you need to subtract Ix to Iy. Ix minus. Okay. So dia punya anak panah ni ke bawah ke? So anak panah ke bawah sekarang ni is equal to Ix. Okay. So Ix minus. So here you need to put the value of Ix here 0.4063 minus you need to put the value Iy minus 0.05. So we get the same answer 0.5. Minus is plus, right? Okay, tolak tambah. So this one dengan this one sama. Okay. Okay. Ada apa-apa nak tanya? Aduh. So you can try the question. Okay, faham tak apa belajar hari ni? Do you understand what we have learned today? Faham kan? Okay.
Yes, miss.
So you can try bolehlah try yang ada jawapan punya. You try the question that already have the answer. And jadi pun sama je. Yeah, faham tapi kena buat lagi. You kena buat banyak latihan sikit. Okay? You need to do a lot of exercise actually. Okay, for this one, it can become a tree loop. Boleh jadi tree loop. And boleh juga buat dua loop sebenarnya. Tapi nanti kena kembangkan balik lah. Okay? But try lah buat tree loop. Di sini, this one loop. This one another loop. And this one another loop. Tree loop. So if you buat 3 loop, then you can get lah the value of IB and IC. Okay, ID, IA. Ada jawapan ni kan tu? Boleh try. Banyak yang tak ada jawapan ni, Dr. Nazira tak ada jawapan. This one dia lain sikit. In terms of value of voltage, this one dia bagi dalam bentuk 6IA. Okay, this voltage is 6IA. Okay, banyak latihan dia tak ada jawapan. Ni pun boleh try lah. Nanti kalau saya sempat saya buat jawapan. Okay. Okay. That's all for today for lecture. Okay. So about your assignment, you ada tanya I pasal assignment kan? So I already asked Dr. Nazira about your assignment, and she said that you need to learn by yourself. Software apa? You kena guna dua software kan? Both of the software you need to learn by yourself. Tinkercad and LiveWire, right? So kena belajar lah sikit. Senang je kot saya rasa. So sebab you tak boleh masuk lab, so yang tu salah satu cara untuk gantikan you punya lab. Okay, so you kena answer all the question lah. Tak boleh skip lah. So for the calculation tu you need to use a software. As for the calculation, for the measurement, okay, for the measurement you need to use a software. Nanti baca betul-betul soalan tu. Bila masa kena guna Tinkercad tu, bila masa kena guna LiveWire punya software. Okay, ada apa nak tanya? Sebelum kita dismiss kelas kita. Turn off your camera. Tengok muka sikit, tidur ke apa. Apa tu? Saya tak buat lagi quiz kan? Next week saya buat quiz lah. Next week saya buat quiz. Sedih. Senang je soalan dia. Online quiz. Okay. Sekejap Bila awak punya midterm break ah? Ya?
Minggu Raya.
Minggu Raya?
Ya.
Oi, lambat lagi lah. Minggu keberapa dah tu?
9 kot.
Minggu 9 baru midterm break. Kan awak ada 2 kali. Saya dengar macam awak ada 2 kali break. Ke saya salah? Tak apalah. Oh, lambatlah juga awak punya midterm break. Okay, kalau tak ada apa-apa, kalau tak ada soalan, kita stop lah. Kita stop sampai sini. Kelas awak selalu 2 jam je. Tak boleh pergi lebih 2 jam. Nanti yang saya sekali migraine. Kelas kita memang selalunya 2 jam je. Okay. Kalau tak ada apa-apa sampai sini je kelas kita hari ni. Kita jumpa lagi minggu depan. Terima kasih. Yeah.
For the quiz, which topic you gonna cover?
All.
Until today?
No, not until today. Until last week. Until Ohm's Law je lah.
So Ohm's law, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. Okay, terima kasih. Thank you everybody.
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
Yeah.